The New Jersey drone situation is absolutely insane, and we have a lot to talk about. Before I actually get into this video, I want to go ahead and have a brief discussion with you guys and explain what the higher-ups of the United States government are saying. We have two different narratives here. One, the possibility that these drones are from Iran and that there's an Iranian mothership hanging out off the coast of the United States that we have done nothing about, which, if that is the case, that is extremely scary because these things could be armed. Iran is a terrorist state that does not like us, and they would like to see us destroyed. So if these are Iranian drones, why are we not doing anything about it? Why are we just letting this happen? Apparently, they're going to start shooting them down. We'll see. They've been flying over critical U.S. infrastructure. They've been seeing what we have technology-wise, flying over our bases unobstructed several times. This is not a one-off. They have been doing this. They have been seen all over the United States. People are filming them everywhere. People have reported clocks in their cars getting messed up when the drone flies over top. The digital screen starts screwing up. People have reported that their drones can't take off. I have footage of somebody trying to essentially launch a fully charged drone with two different sets of batteries that they try to use, go up into the air to look at these things, and they can't look at them because the drone refuses to launch. And I also have footage of an alleged crash of one of these things I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Oh my god, I can't confirm it, but if this is a crash, then we have to know by now what these things are. I mean, it looks like an electrical fire. It looks like a fire. I mean, but who knows? You know, I didn't get to see it come down. Nobody did. We're just going off the person who filmed its word. But it does look like this crash was taken kind of seriously, because it does look like it's a possibility that this really was a drone that crashed. And with that being said, I want to go ahead and actually discuss the possibility of these things being NHI. That's still very much a feasible theory here. It may not be Iran. The reason I say this is because the United States government, they're not giving any real answers. The Iran thing is more like a theory than anything. And I also don't really buy it, because if there was an Iranian vessel at the United States coast, our sonar system with our Navy, they would have picked that up by now. If they could pick up the Titan exploding 13,000 feet underwater, they could pick up a boat or a submarine 2,000 feet underwater. That's the entire point of those sonar systems, is to catch, like the Russians during the Cold War. If they were trying to come and infiltrate on United States waters with like a nuclear submarine, we wanted to know about it. That was the point. So I'm pretty sure that Iran, a much less advanced Navy, would not be able to evade our detection in our oceans right off the coast of the United States. It sounds ridiculous. I also have footage of a fleet of what looks to be these drones possibly over New York City, filmed out of an airplane window, hanging out in the sky. Could this be fake? Who knows? It's possible. But I'm going to share it with you guys anyway. So stick around. We have a lot to cover. First, though, I really just want to explain why there's a possibility that these things are still NHI before you go and assume, oh, it's Iran. The reason being, and this is not me saying this is elected officials that are saying this, they have seen characteristics displayed by these craft or drones, whatever you want to call them. They're not even really calling them drones anymore. They don't really know what they are, but that's kind of the term that's just going around because they think they're unmanned, so that's what we're going with. These craft, they're displaying capabilities of what you would expect from UAP or NHI. Things like the sound of the propellers either being too loud or non-existent in some cases for the size of the craft. Things like, you know, messing with technology, absurd speeds have been reported, shape-shifting has been reported, all sorts of ridiculous things have been reported. And footage of these things that shows very strange stuff going on. I have two sets of ring camera footage I'm going to share with you guys, where it shows, I don't even know what they are. They're both from New Jersey, but whatever is in these videos is absurd. But I want to start off with the crash. So let me go ahead and show you guys this alleged crash drone. This is alleged, not guaranteed to be an actual crash drone. We don't know for sure, but go ahead and check it out real quick and we'll talk more on it after.
Well, a lot of smoke and fire. We're on the highway, and out in the distance we see all these lights going off. And there's some smoke over here. All right! Yes, YouTube magic right there. The field's on fire. There was like a craft that crashed out of the sky. It was crazy. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so clearly something is on fire in that field, and it does look like it could possibly have been one of these drones crashed out of the sky. And if that's the case, I kind of hope it is, because at least some of them then might not have a payload, or a weapons payload, I should say. And apparently these meetings that they're having, the NFL showed up to one of these meetings at the government. I don't have exact details on everything, but from my understanding, they're worried about having 70 to 80,000 people together in a stadium all at once with these drones flying overhead, because they could potentially rain havoc down on this stadium and kill a bunch of Americans. which is a problem that we do not want to face. As far as the other footage I have, though, goes, man, there's a lot to share with you guys. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fit it all in this video, but I'm going to try my best to get the most important ones in here. It's been said that when they try to get close to these drones, that the drones will go dark and they actually disappear. I do have footage. It's a short 11-second clip of one of these drones going dark that somebody did manage to film, where you could still see the drone in the sky, but the lights are turned off. According to the FBI, though, these things don't just go dark. They literally fly off and just vanish. Anyway, check out the footage for yourself. Yeah, so very clearly, the things are capable of turning off their lights. It's like they're intelligently controlled. And if they're being controlled by a remote signal, clearly the United States government is not able to pick up on it. I don't know what that would be or why. I'm starting to think that they might be like AI controlled or pre-programmed. And somehow they're able to detect that if like one of our like helicopters or anything gets close, they know to fly away and basically stay undetected. And they're very fast, apparently. Apparently they can outrun us, it seems. And the FBI is too scared to try to follow them to wherever they're coming from, which is absurd to me. That's their job. They need to be doing that. And the elected officials that were at this meeting with the FBI, where the FBI told them that they don't know what's going on, literally were thinking the same thing. They were saying, isn't it your job to chase after these things and find out what's going on? And I would agree with them. I would say, yes, it is their job. That's literally what the FBI is there for. And this is bad. I really hope they get it together, because the FBI might not exist much longer, because Trump's coming in office with a vendetta, and he very well might get rid of you guys, considering that the drones are flying over one of his houses in New Jersey. If things go south before he ever becomes president, if he gets in as president and this is still going on, he's probably not going to be too happy. So if I were the FBI, I'd be a little bit worried. And regardless of your feelings on Trump, that is a very real thing that could happen, because these three-letter agencies, most of them were like temporary agencies that weren't supposed to exist forever. I can't say for sure on the FBI, but when it comes to the CIA, that was an executive branch formed agency, and it was never supposed to be permanent. It was a Cold War spy agency that ended up sticking around as permanent, but wasn't actually supposed to be a permanent organization. And the president created it, the president can get rid of it. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with the FBI. I'm not entirely certain, but that's my thoughts on the situation. The FBI really should get it together. As far as these drones go, though, people are still filming them over their houses. People are seeing them apparently, allegedly land in somebody's yard. Somebody went up to one and an alarm started going off on it, so they ran away. And then the drone left. I don't know how true that is. There was an elected official, Ross Coldhart, asked about it, and the elected official said he can't confirm or deny that, basically. He hasn't actually heard anything confirming it from his sources, but it's still possible. There's so much going on, it's hard to keep up with all the information. So next I want to share with you guys a video of the Ring camera footage. Both of these are also from New Jersey, and it's very strange. After that, I have a UFO over Arizona, and it appears to be dripping what looks like molten lava to the ground, very similar to the Maury Island incident. And I believe I've discussed that on the channel before. I'm not sure if I have 100% because it's been a long time, but I think I did. So if this isn't like a new thing, okay? Maury Island happened back in like the 40s, early 40s. So in order for this, it was like a month before Roswell, if I'm not mistaken, or so mid 40s. But the situation that we've seen with a lot of footage is that these craft will drip some sort of molten material like out of the craft. There's been like police gun camera footage showing this. And now we have this video, and I'm going to play that one actually. I'm going to play all three of these in succession. The two Ring camera footages because they're very short, and then I'll play the Arizona footage and let you guys look at it for yourself. It's some of the weirdest footage I have for you today, so you guys can come to your own conclusions on what you believe these things are. I'm not going to say my opinions here because I personally don't want to give you bias on what they are. I want you guys to come to your own conclusions. The first one, for all I know, could be fake. I mean, it's totally possible. People fake Ring camera footage all the time. But as far as I could tell, it doesn't seem fake, but it's also hard to say what it is. It could be a plane, it could be a rocket, I'm not sure. Anyway, go ahead and check these three clips out, and let me know what you guys think in the comments.
The kids just pointed it out. We're in Surprise, Arizona. And this thing has been flying around like this
What is that?
It's gone.
Wait, no,
Oh, it just shot real fast.
Yeah. Now let's get to something a little bit stranger than even those pieces of footage. This is what looks like a fleet of possibly those drones. Hard to say if this is legit or not either, but UFO Mania shared it on Twitter, and that channel has been around as long as this one, if not longer. They're like more of an OG YouTube UFO channel. And if you actually look at it, granted it could be faked, but it doesn't look faked, and nobody in the comments that I could see on Twitter was saying, oh, this is clearly fake. The closest to debunking it somebody had was trying to say, oh, those are boats in the water. The problem is that he got flamed because it's very obvious that they're not boats in the water. They're in the sky on the clouds. So I'll let you guys go ahead and take a look at it. And if this is where those drones are going during the day and they don't ever actually land and they're not actually from an Iranian mothership, there is a good possibility that a lot of these drones might actually be NHI, because there is no technology that I'm aware of that can stay in the sky, at least drone technology anyway, for that long without having to land. I don't even know if like there's planes that can really do that and just stay in one place like that. Anyway, go ahead and check it out, and we'll talk more on it after. So this was over in New York City, and if this is legit, that's kind of scary, because it means that they're never leaving and they're never actually landing. So they might actually be NHI, which in reality might be less scary than Iran, because at least the NHI, we don't know for a fact that they want to kill us. Iran, we know that they would want to see us destroyed. So that's a little bit more scary than if these were NHI. However, I can't guarantee the validity of said clip. I can only show you what I found. But next I want to show you guys a really clear video from New Jersey of this, of one of these drones that was captured flying really low. It's actually multiple drones, if I'm remembering right. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys, but it's a couple minutes long, so I might not play the entire thing because you'll get the general idea based on once you've seen it. There's a very clear drone in this, as well as afterwards I'm going to show you a picture that a professional photographer took and posted to Twitter that is a very obvious well, not obvious. They claim it was a drone, but it's very clear. It's very, I don't want to say obvious. Nothing about this situation is obvious, but they're very strange. It's weird. It's like not like anything that I've ever seen before. But then again, I don't have access to classified military drones, so I could just be a complete idiot in that situation. But let me go ahead and share the footage with you, and then I'll show the pictures after. Go and check this out.
They're just like crossing over the whole area.
There's one all the way back out there.
Oh, it's slowing down.
It's all the way over there.
That is not the flight path for anything. Yeah, look.
You see it getting lower?
Yeah. It's got rotors above the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one.
And then there's another one all the way out behind the trees. Holy crap. They're huge.
Was that 4?
It's 5 or 6. At least. And look, behind you. He's coming up over the building over there.
That one?
No, that one all the way out is behind you. There's one coming up over the building right here. Right here.
Uh-huh.
Watch between the trees.
I see. This is all grainy ass video.
Because you're like... You can literally see the thing just crossed over top of each other over there.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, and this footage almost just looks like an airplane, but you can very much tell that this one is not a plane. These drones all look very different. I've seen so many different footages of these drones where they look like completely different things than one another. Like, they're all obviously some sort of drone, but they're just not normal. Like, they all look very different. You would think if this was coming from another nation that there'd be some sense of uniformity to these drones, but there's not. None of them actually match up with one another. It's very weird. It's almost like it's trying to look like human tech, but doing a really poor job. Like, they don't really know, so they're just trying to go with multiple different things to try to make it look like it belongs to humanity as a whole. But in reality, maybe it's not. Or it could just be that Iran built a bunch of non-uniform drones. I don't actually know. I'm just giving you the information I have and trying to give you enough that you could try to draw your own conclusions. Hopefully we eventually get real answers on this, but so far it's looking kind of grim in the answers department. The next thing that I want to share with you guys, though, is the pictures that were taken. They're on screen right now. This is a very clear shot of another drone, and as you can see, it looks extremely different than the drone that I just showed you in that video. It's very strange. I'm going to make sure I have the artist credited, not artist, but the photographer credited that took the pictures. Sorry, I don't know why I said artist, but the photographer that took the pictures, he used a 300mm lens, very good picture, and props to him for getting something this clear. Also want to bring up the fact that people have tried to get closer photos with their own hobby drones. I mentioned this earlier on. Maybe now is an appropriate time, actually, to share with you guys the video of somebody attempting to send their own drone up to get a picture of these things out in New Jersey, and their drone just not responding. Let's go ahead and roll that for you real quick so you can see for yourself, so you know that I'm telling the truth. All right, check it out.
Does not want to go up with these things around.
The battery's dead?
There's no way the battery's dead. It's fully charged.
It says 0. It won't let me.
What is going on? Okay, these are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, what, like a couple feet off the table? And then came right back down. The craziest thing. They will not fly. Like, it won't fly. I don't believe in government conspiracies, but listen. There's mystery drones, and people's regular drones will not go up in the air and crash out. What the... Alright, trying again to get the drone up.
No, this one won't, it won't even let me.
What? What's it say? Let me see what
It
this
says charge or warm up battery.
What?
Charging battery required.
It's fully charged.
It was, yeah. Now it's not, for some reason.
What is up in the skies?
And this is only one of like a bunch of different videos allegedly that people have been posting to Twitter and every other website. Funnily enough, when I first started researching this, the first place I went to was 4chan. I was hoping that some anon on 4chan would be like, I'm responsible for the New Jersey drones. Ask me anything. Because, you know, maybe some crazy people with too much money and time are behind it trying to play a prank, as some people were thinking. My brother said that. He thought maybe Anonymous was behind it. No, I don't think so. I don't think that there's an individual group of people that have the money and resources to create something like this, of this sophistication, more sophisticated than what the US government can create. I think that's just absurd. The battery life on these things is just outrageous. The weight factor to these has to be extremely heavy because the law of diminishing returns says that the more battery weight you add, the more electricity you're going to use to keep this thing in the sky, so it's harder to keep it up longer, and eventually you get to the point where you're no longer able to keep it in the sky as long because the law of diminishing returns is saying you just can't. You'll run out of the ability to increase the longevity of battery life the bigger you make it with the more batteries. It just eventually you hit like a plateau. So in this case, I really just want to point out, and since we can't bring our own drones up to look at it, it's kind of a disgrace that the FBI, when they bring their helicopters up to look at it, are not actually trying to follow these things or shoot them down or anything. Apparently when they try to shine the spotlight on them, these drones just go dark. They disappear. And that's very absurd to think that we can't do anything to chase them down. And if it's actually literal, where they say like they disappear, if we don't have anything that's quick enough to chase them down, are you sure that they're from another country? Are you sure they are not NHI at that point? The questions keep rolling in. Finally, I want to share with you one last piece of footage. It's technically 2 videos. This is of 2 buses of alleged possible scientists being police escorted. The buses just say Academy on them, and we're assuming that they might be scientists. It's hard to say for sure, but this is in New Jersey. It was captured, and I'll let you guys decide for yourself what you think this is, but it's not very far from where a lot of these drone incursions are taking place. And if they really did get one of these drones and it turns out that they are NHI, as people are speculating, or Iran even, maybe they just want to reverse engineer it. Seems weird though, that they would need a bunch of scientists for craft from Iran. I mean, I would think that they'd be more primitive than what we have, and there'd be no reason to need, a bunch of sophisticated scientists to figure this out. I would think that we would be able to just take it apart, look at it, and say, oh yeah, this is like a weaker form of what we use. But no, that's not the case. So if these things are NHI, this may lend credence to the theory. If these were actually scientists, which we'll probably never know the answer to, being escorted by police officers to go and examine possibly a downed drone. Check it out.
That promote the misleading claim.
I got video.
A search on Eficacia Negativa yields Spanish tweets.
This is a police
promoting that same
escort.
claim.
Look what
The trust and safety team at a platform can use those
Academy.
keywords to automatically.
It's not one, it's not 2 buses.
Running off the road,
It's multiple. There's multiple
Wise Tech
buses.
harnesses
Look,
the wisdom of
with a police
crowds, as
escort.
well as AI techniques to select keywords
And this
for
is-
each claim
this is actually
and provide other information
like out of a
in the
sci-fi
claim profile.
movie, because we have
For human
just
reviewers,
west
a
of
Wise
here,
Tech's browser
right?
plugin
Just west of
identifies
here is where you have all this
that might
activity
match
going
the
on
post.
with the
The
drones.
reviewer then decides
It's like out of a
which
movie
matches
where
are
they're
correct.
busing.
A much
They could be
easier
busing
task than deciding
scientists
if posts violate abstract
to
policy.
go to this area to find out what the
Reviewer
hell these
efficiency.
drones are. And I don't know if it's
So
it. That's
COVID-19 was
re-
essentially like a proof of concept.
That
of
is
all this,
wild.
right? Like this is something.
this is not.
Actually, 2 of those buses are just decoy buses. It contains the CFO Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Wanted to
More buses coming through, guys.
and
And these are like not.
ability
These are not.
to be able to.
These are like, I don't know what kind of police these are. These are unmarked vehicles.
Because at the time,
I know, but still though, like, it doesn't say sheriff on it. The other ones that say police.
2019 came from
More buses. There's another bus coming up right now.
The Vindman brothers, who were military. Basically, Trump had
Where
a
are
big
these buses going?
with the existing brass of the Pentagon and the intelligence community over Russian policy over
Wow,
invasion.
this is really
Which is all
interesting.
we can talk about if you're interested. But so the Atlantic Council was one of the very first movers. in
So there's, what,
censorship.
there's 5 buses, right?
I-
And there's
I
another
mentioned how
group
this
of
really
buses
started
back
in
there.
2014 with 25 years of free speech diplomacy.
that's just from Jersey
ended
police.
with
I
the
know another one
2014
that's,
Ukraine fiasco because of this Gerasimov
That's it?
doctrine of warfare.
Yeah, so it's weird. I can't guarantee that's what's going on. That's just what the people who filmed the video were speculating. It could be nonsense. Maybe this is something else. If you guys know what that is, what they're going to do, then go ahead and sound off in the comments and let me know. I'm open to anything. I'm just looking for information. I'm sorry that I don't have actually solid answers for you guys. The best I can say is there is a likelihood it could be Iran behind all this, which is extremely scary if that's the case, but there's also the likelihood it could still be NHI. They don't know for sure. I'm just going off what information is being given out by government officials at this time. We may come out with new information where we're actually given solid answers as to what these things are. It seems that the government is kind of hoping that they'll just go away, but I need to make something clear before we end off the video. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on for decades. J. Allen Hynek wrote in a book saying that there were craft over nuclear facilities, obviously doing reconnaissance, and in some cases activating and deactivating our nukes, messing with us, that were at the time just seen as UFOs. And these craft looked a lot like what we're seeing now. Red, green, white lights. The description matches up quite a bit. Now, they're not always those color lights. In some videos, there are lights of different colors, or there's no lights at all. But the most common thing I have seen, as in the photograph I showed you, the very clear one, are the red, green, and white lights, like a Christmas tree. And this is not new. This is something that has been seen over military bases for decades. We're talking like 80 years now. And it's honestly kind of insane that after all this time, we still have no idea what's happening. Hopefully, we'll get answers. And if we do, you can guarantee that I'll be here to give them to you as soon as I know what they are. With that being said, my name is Richard. This is Alien Bros. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell, and we'll see you guys again soon in the next video. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself that I love thyself. Tell your family that you love them. Go and basically just be a good person. Don't freak out over these drones, man. Everything will be alright. It'll work out. Just don't start being a vigilante and trying to shoot them out of the sky. Just make sure that if you see them, you record it and you give it to the proper authorities. Anyway, I'll see you guys again in the next video. Peace.